Welcome to Mastering Loops in C# for Unity, your beginner's guide to understanding and implementing essential programming loops. Loops are fundamental control flow statements that allow your code to execute repeatedly, a crucial concept for game development in Unity. In this video, we'll explore three primary types: the for loop, the while loop, and the foreach loop, providing practical demonstrations for each. Our objective is to equip you with a clear, step-by-step understanding of how to effectively use these loops within your C# Unity projects. The for loop is your go-to when you know precisely how many times you want to repeat a specific action. Think of it like setting a timer. You define where it starts, when it stops, and how much it counts by each time. Here's the syntax for // code to be executed. The initialization happens once at the beginning. The condition is checked before each run, and the increment or decrement occurs after each successful iteration. Let's demonstrate this in Visual Studio by writing a basic for loop that prints numbers from 1 to 5 to the console. Observe how each component, from the starting point to the stopping condition and the increment, contributes to the loop's execution. Now, let's run this code and see the output, confirming our loop successfully printed numbers 1 through 5. In Unity, you might use a for loop to spawn a specific number of enemies at the start of a level, or to iterate through a list of items to apply a buff. We'll create a simple scene with game objects and use a for loop to iterate through an array of them, changing their color. This demonstrates how a for loop can efficiently manage and modify multiple game elements. The while loop is perfect for situations where you want something to keep running as long as a specific condition remains true. It's like waiting for a player to find a key or continuously monitoring an enemy's health until it reaches 0. The syntax is straightforward, while // code to be executed. The loop continues as long as the condition inside the parentheses evaluates to true. Let's write a while loop in Visual Studio that decreases a variable until it reaches 0. This clearly illustrates how the loop persists as long as its condition remains true, decrementing the variable with each pass. Running the code confirms that the variable successfully counts down from 5 to 1 before the loop terminates. In Unity, you can use a while loop to keep checking if a game is over, or to continue an action until a certain condition is met, like loading a scene. We'll use a while loop to move a game object until it reaches a specific target position. Observe the game object moving smoothly across the scene, stopping precisely when the while loop's condition is no longer met. The foreach loop is specifically designed to iterate over elements within collections, such as arrays or lists. It simplifies iterating through collections without the need to manually manage an index. The syntax looks like this: foreach // code to be executed. Let's create an array of strings in Visual Studio and use a foreach loop to print each string to the console. This demonstrates how effortlessly the foreach loop processes each item in the collection. Running the code confirms that each string from our array is printed individually, as expected. In Unity, a common use case is to loop through all the game objects in a scene to disable them or to apply a certain effect to each one. We'll create a list of game objects and use a foreach loop to iterate through the list, disabling each game object. Watch as each game object in the scene is systematically disabled by our foreach loop. A crucial tip for beginners: watch out for infinite loops. These occur when your loop condition never becomes false, causing your program to freeze. If Unity freezes, you might have an infinite loop, so remember to save your work often. Also, ensure you're using the right loop for the job. If you know the exact number of repetitions, use a for loop. If you need to repeat something until a condition is met, while loop is your best choice. And for iterating through every item in a collection, the foreach loop is the most elegant solution. We've covered the for, while, and foreach loops, understanding their syntax, concepts, and practical applications in Unity. Now it's your turn. Practice using these loops in your own Unity projects to solidify your understanding. If you found this guide helpful, please consider subscribing for more tutorials and leave any questions in the comments below.